ancient Egypt's Serapeum granite boxes generated electricity. They were ancient batteries, according to the Borison theory. We know that they have been found in the Saqqara Plateau of Egypt, which is supposedly much older than the Giza Plateau, but they've also been found in the pyramids of Giza. And we've also been told by the Emerald Tablets, supposedly written by Thoth the Atlantean, who, after the sinking of Atlantis, became one of the deities of ancient Egypt. It is said that he was the one who built the Giza pyramids, which has a luxurious multi-level city under the pyramid plateau. And he also tells us in the Emerald Tablets that his spaceship, Thoth's spaceship, is hidden under a sphinx. Is it under the Giza Sphinx? There's supposed to be a second one there that they haven't excavated yet, but who knows? But they did have these methods of generating electricity, and they said that the granite boxes, when the pressure is increased on granite, the crystals start emanating a light blue light. And it's believed that these granite boxes, which were found empty, were the means by producing free electricity. They would send up a beam of light blue light, and the whole of the pyramid would light up and provide electricity, free electricity, to the community. Now, this article says this is a fascinating theory based on the case by Konstantin Borisov, who holds a doctorate in electrical engineering from Mississippi State University. He deals with mysterious stone boxes in the Serapeum of Egypt. Now, these stone boxes are made of granite, and they're 100 tons each. The lid alone is 30 tons weight. Now, they were certainly not carnivores for the bulls of Egypt, as the Egyptians led us to believe, but they were actually ancient batteries that produced electricity, according to Borisov. In other words, these boxes were not sarcophagi for the bulls that supposedly were put in them. They were actually batteries. And even now, there's no theory available, no theory has been able to accurately explain how or why the 24 giant sarcophagi were transported to the area and settled precisely where they were. The dominant theory suggests that the site was used for the burial of the Apis bulls, even though there are many elements that do not coincide with this belief. And one example is the size of the boxes exceeds the size of the bulls. And if the Serapeum was a burial of the Apis bulls, then where are the mummies of these bulls? There is nothing. So why did the sarcophagi why were they constructed out of granite and not, for example, something else like limestone, a material which is easier to work with? Granite, as we know, is a very hard rock. But why did the sarcophagi have the material of granite, not limestone, a material which is easier to work with? It's known that pre-dynastic Egyptians knew the processes of fermentation. Around 3000 BC, they had already used the process to brew beer and bake bread, and some scholars have said that the process was known even before that, 3000 BC, more than before 5,000 years ago. But the secrets of fermentation seem to create some conditions that lead to Borisov's conclusion. He says, suppose someone in the pre-dynastic Egypt put concrete ingredients in a giant casket and close the lid. A particular set of ingredients comes to mind: beer, bread, barley, and even the oxen, as they were often referred to in ancient Egyptian texts. So he says that as the fermentation begins, the dough begins to convert the starch in the barley to carbon dioxide gas and ethanol. The amount of CO2 gas increases in the box, creating a pressure. The granite is not a porous material, and the lid weighs about, as we said, 30 tons. so the gas pressure should be significant before it can be opened. The process continues as long as the chemical composition of the substances in the sarcophagus, in this garnet box, and the temperature is comfortable for the dough to continue to grow and rise. The essential ingredient for the yeast to grow is oleic acid. This is a fatty acid found in animals and vegetable fats. So oleic acid is essential for the dough to maintain its growth rate. This acid is also necessary for dough to overcome the toxic effect of ethanol, which would be created in the sarcophagus, in this granite box, as a byproduct of the fermentation. This acid is abundant in meat, and we can only wonder if the main purpose of the pieces of meat or bulls placed in this huge granite box was to provide the right chemical ingredients for the dough to maintain long-term growth. And as the fermentation continued, the CO2 gas puts up pressure onto the granite box. The granite can withstand a pressure of at least 200 PMPa. To put it into perspective, this pressure is about 1,000 times the pressure on tires. Now, as the pressure increases, there would be mechanical pressure on the huge granite box, and it's known that granite is composed of quartz crystals, and under mechanical stress, these crystals produce an electric charge. They light up with a light blue light. So thus, more pressure means more electricity is produced. So if you think about it, the essentials were present right there on the site in the granite boxes. There are 25 of these granite boxes in the Saqqara Plateau of Egypt. 25. Now, as the granite boxes become mechanically stressed, the electrical loads will appear. The loads are typically scattered on the surface of the ground, and when the loads reach the surface, they will ionize the pockets of air over the ground and light up the sky above Saqqara. Can you imagine that? So in short, we think that the giant sarcophagi, these granite boxes, 25 of them, of the Serapeum area of the Saqqara Desert in Egypt, were used to generate electric charges with a pressure created through CO2 gas building up inside the granite boxes. The pressure exerted on the quartz crystals of the granite created electrical charges on the surface of the sarcophagus. And these loads were then scattered from the basement to the ground surface, ionizing the air, causing it to be lit and shine with a light blue colored light. Amazing. This is translated to you from a Greek article, Diadrastika, and I hope you enjoy it. I think that the ancient Egyptians, or whoever built them, because let's remember that the ancient Egyptians used to say that these pyramids were there long before they got there. They had tremendous advanced technology that they knew of. I mean, what better way to have free energy like this? It's amazing. Can you imagine what kind of technology they had? Supposedly it was Atlantean technology. And from what Thoth tells us, there were many other Atlanteans that spread to other areas of the world, establishing new cities with a pyramid. The first thing they did was build pyramids. And we ask ourselves, why was that? Well, obviously, it must have been something having to do with free energy. And they took their technology and implemented them and set up their technology in these new areas. And we have pyramids all over the world. North America, South America, all through Europe, even on the Crimean Peninsula, there's at least 7 pyramids there in a straight line. And of course, the most well-known is Egypt, but we also have them all the way in China. So I'll leave links below for you for this. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.